All right, here we are. Talking
There's no
about.
more guns in the valley.
Oh man, I tell you. Here's the thing. We can talk about how. Here, hold on. We'll start with this. Oh, nope, not this. We'll talk about this. This was Cowboy in his post-fight press conference. I watched this morning after the fact, um, and we can talk about just what this means to us and to one of the greatest welterweights of all time, and Cowboy Cerrone. Lightweight, welterweight, one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. UFC Hall of Famer for sure. Donald
The
Cerrone,
all-time leader in finishes.
all-time
The
leader
all-time
in head kick
win.
finishes, all-time leader in UFC wins,
Most fights.
most fights. Cowboy's legit,
He's the most legit.
and I feel like we always have to preface an introduction to Cowboy by saying that stuff because in his recent accolades have fallen a little short, and I feel
The
like that's
last
what
six. His
five.
last 6 or 5. I always think it's 6 for some reason. His last 5 fights
Yeah,
have been surprisingly. I would argue against Cowboy saying this is his worst performance, as he did not get knocked out in the first round.
yes, I would definitely say his Conor McGregor performance is probably his worst performance.
That's how
Um,
I would say it too. But I had Cowboy winning this fight just off the last 2 rounds. But with the eye pokes and getting completely dismantled in the first 30 seconds of the fight, I
yeah,
understand why it's a draw.
yeah, because and here's the thing: Cowboy is not stupid. He
He's
knows
not.
he can do the math, and he knows that had those eye pokes not happened and that point not been withdrawn, he probably would have lost the fight.
Probably.
And and here's the thing: I was literally sitting in my on my couch, just praying. Man, I was literally praying. Don't let Cowboy lose this fight. Don't let Cowboy lose this fight. And I kept saying, I don't care if he wins. He either needs to win or make it go to a draw. He cannot lose this fight. It's just
And he did.
it was detrimental that he not lose this fight. And
Very much so.
I and other journalists in the room with Cowboy doing this post-fight press conference were literally saying, Cowboy, you didn't lose. You got a draw. You fought a hell of a fight. You even won round 3. And that's typical of Cowboy. We know Cowboy is a late starter in fights. And he came out pretty strong in round 3 and finished that fight to the best of his ability.
And I had him winning. So,
Yeah.
Cowboy, you need to get off. You need to stop being so mean to yourself.
Yeah. But I mean, when he sat down and he was telling us what was going through his head in the fight, talking about how even in round 1, when Niko Price was just pouring on the heat, and Donald Cerrone had a thought in his head for a moment of taking a knee and going down, just taking the easy way out and just getting out of that fight. He had to fight with himself to get rid of that urge. I mean, it's just
It
I know
hurts.
it hurts,
It
dude.
hurts.
It hurts, and
Cowboy.
it just sucks because
Cowboy.
exactly, man. And he's such a likable guy, such a great fighter, he's such a good dude overall. And when you hear this kind of stuff, yeah, the line that he said that stuck with me the most was, "Next time, I'm fighting for my job." Like next fight he has, he's going to be he to himself and potentially anyone else, he has to win his next fight. And it says another thing when he comes out there disappointed. He comes out here disappointed after the decision was made that it was a draw. He was disappointed. You could see it in his face. He was disappointed that he hadn't done enough to win the fight. In his eyes, he lost that fight.
I'm upset now.
Ugh,
I'm just sad.
sucks, man. It really
But how
sucks.
happy was Niko Price?
Niko Price was actually really into it.
He was really into it, and he got a little dusty in when they did the after interview, the post fight interview together.
Yeah.
And they was getting a little dusty. They was getting a little sobby on each other, talking about their kids and how much this means to them and everything. Made
Oh
me
yeah.
get a little sobby.
Oh yeah. And
I like that.
Niko Price is the kind of guy who he accidentally poked Cowboy the first time, immediately recognized that he did it, said I'm sorry, vehemently apologized.
They were
Um,
both professionals about. Sorry,
you okay?
They were both very professional about eye pokes.
Yep.
They were both very into just keeping the fight going. Unlike some other people tonight, but we're
Ugh,
getting there. We're getting there.
ugh, wild. But yeah, I mean, he said that. I mean, I would argue that he said 2020 is not his year. I agree, but there are some highlights here over the course of his fight career within the 2020 era. His bout in January was probably the worst so far.
Very beginning of the year. Started off on a bad note.
Yes. His fight with Anthony Pettis, however, was probably the best he's looked. Because according to himself, he felt the best in 2020 in the Anthony Pettis fight.
Yeah.
But the Anthony Pettis fight
Also
didn't
thought he
go
won
his
that one.
way because of the eye poke,
Of course.
which the ref didn't call it. Anthony Pettis didn't even think he poked him in the eye until we saw the replay, and it was just really, really egregious. It was deep, and he could not see out of that eye for the rest of that fight. And that kind of made the difference, in my opinion. But with this, he did not start very well. But then you start seeing by the second round, he starts doing that thing he does. He pieces a lot of combos together. He's working the body. He didn't get any takedowns, but that
He
is
got some
something.
back control.
He got some kind of control. There was a lot of clinch work with the guys. Cowboys
Threw
got
some
that
good
Muay Thai
body
training.
knees.
Yeah. Oh, really good knees to the body. Cowboys got some crazy knees, and as soon as he touches Price with just one of those knees, you can tell Price feels it. He
He hit
immediately
a
feels
really
it.
good spinning back kick in the second round.
Yeah, exactly. And then by the third round is when he's really hit his stride, and he makes the fight uber competitive for Niko Price. And to give credit to Niko Price, he put on a hell of a performance too.
Yeah, he came out there trying to finish it in the first round. Almost did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Unfortunate though, you just got to be careful with those eye pokes. I mean, it's
You
crazy
gotta
to
really
think
be
that
careful.
nowadays these eye pokes can be the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah, they really matter that much.
So hopefully they do something, man, with these. I can't tell if it was an issue with the gloves or what, or maybe they have to start penalizing fighters for having their hands open at all.
Right. They need
Well,
to switch the gloves. We've
yeah,
talked about this.
yeah,
They need to have those special gloves that literally make your hands more of a
yeah,
more fisty, like the hybrid gloves. They need to put those in
yeah.
because in Bellator,
Either like where they put the I don't know, dude. It becomes a slippery slope at that point.
it
But
does.
but
But Justin Gaethje's coach has special fitted gloves that are special to each person that
yeah,
gets them,
yeah,
and they never get any eye pokes. They're more comfortable, and you don't need wraps. They're just the gloves,
yeah. So
dude. And
fingers
I
crossed.
haven't I haven't seen an eye poke in Bellator in like 2 years. It just
So
doesn't happen.
hopefully we can fix it because
This
it's
is the
starting to
part of the
become a
show where
problem.
Lincoln talks about Bellator.
Always, it seems like in every episode now.
We need to have like a little theme where you just have like a soundboard and you go, "This is the part of the show where Lincoln talks about Bellator."
Oh my god! All right, so do you have any other thoughts about our man Donald
I'm just
Cerrone?
praying.
I know.
I'm just praying.
Just hope
I'm
that
not.
some.
I don't.
I
I'm
hope
not
they
trying
just
to
fish him a sacrificial fighter next time, and Cowboy can just completely unload on him.
give him Tyron Woodley.
That would be crazy. That would be wild. Speaking of, that's who we're going to talk about in the next video, you guys. The final video of this week. We will see you guys there. Peace.